What does it take to be successful in IT? Let's talk about it. My name's Zach and I'm the FNIT guy. I have about 8 years experience in the IT field, and 5 of those years I've been a supervisor / leader of new IT professionals. And I've seen lots of people either succeed or fail. I've seen lots of stellar employees and I've seen lots of lackluster employees. And what I'd like to do today is I'd like to go over what separates the two, okay? What really are the qualities that's going to make someone successful in IT? There are 4 things that I want to cover that I think really separate the stellar professional from the lackluster IT professional. And these things are going to be relevant probably no matter what field that you're in. A lot of it has to do with your attitude. And what I'd like to do before we get into that is dispel a myth. A lot of people think that in order to be successful in IT, you need to be a Poindexter. You need to be a nerd. You need to have the glasses with the tape in the middle. You live in your mom's basement and all you do is live, breathe, and eat technology. That's not the case. If you were to see the people that I work with, you would not think that these people work in IT. A lot of them are fantastic at their job, even though they're not nerds. So that's something to keep in mind. In order to be successful in IT, you do not have to be a nerd. A lot of the people that I work with, you might think that they're college athletes. You might think that they're punk rock stars, right? But not everyone fits into that box. And if you don't fit into that box, that's okay, because there's probably still a place for you. 4 things that I want to go over that separate the stellar employee from the lackluster employee. Number 1, customer service. Number 2, a never quit attitude. Number 3, self-sufficient. And number 4, an enthusiastic learner. So let's start with the first one, customer service. What is your job as an IT professional? Your job is to service customers. Whether you're back in the server room working on a server to ensure that your clients have the services that they're supposed to be provided, or whether you're working help desk and helping people plug back in their Ethernet cable or helping them send an email. There's one thing that you get paid for, and that's providing a service to customers. And if that's not your first concern, making sure that your customer is taken care of, you're not going to be successful. When a customer approaches you, they need to walk away from that interaction feeling like they were taken care of and that they're confident that you're going to handle the job. Okay? If a customer comes to me and says, "Hey, Zach, my computer isn't working." What do I say? I say, "Hey, no problem. I'll be right there. We'll get it taken care of." I don't give a funny face. I don't say, "Oh man, I don't know, hopefully I can help you." No, I say, "I'm here to help and we're gonna get you taken care of. We're gonna make sure that your computer works so that you can do your job." Your number 1 priority needs to be making sure that customers are taken care of. And that is gonna set you apart from your peers. Number 2, a never quit attitude. If there's one thing that you take away from this conversation that we're having, develop, if you have to pull it from deep inside of yourself, I don't know what you have to do, you need a never quit attitude, okay? When someone comes to you, whether it's a minor problem or something that's catastrophic, you need to approach that problem with the attitude that you are going to fix it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You are going to Google until your fingers bleed. You're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that the problem that's in front of you gets solved. Okay? And that ties back into number 1, customer service. You have customers that are relying on you to provide them with services. And if you fail, then there's going to be a trickle-down effect with your whole organization. Your employees, your coworkers need your services to ensure that they can function and do their job well. Without you, everything crumbles. So a never quit attitude. Whenever you're sitting in front, let's say you're a network engineer, you're a voice engineer, right? You're sitting in front of call manager and your boss calls you and tells you, "Hey, I'm having one-way audio issues." You say, "Hey sir, no problem. I'm gonna look into it and I'm gonna make sure that it gets fixed." And then you sit there in front of Cisco call manager until it's fixed. You don't walk away and have lunch. No. You figure that problem out. And you need to have a sense of urgency and a sense of, it's like your pride's on the line, okay? There's a problem in front of you and it's saying, "Hey, are you smart enough to fix me? I don't think you are." It's a challenge, right? You need to approach these problems that you encounter in the workplace like a challenge. Don't be a punk. Whenever Cisco call manager says, hey, you can't fix me. You say, yes, I can, and I'm going to. What does that mean practically? That means that you're going to Google until your fingers bleed. You're going to open up manufacturer documentation. You're going to be on forums. I mean, you're going to do whatever it takes to figure out how to solve the problem. Okay? You might think to be successful in IT, you need to be an expert in everything. That's not the case. You need to be customer oriented and you need to have a never quit attitude. I would much rather have somebody that has a fantastic attitude who makes a decision to show up to work every single day committed than to have the expert that's grouchy and not willing to help customers the way that they ought to be helped. And part of the never quit attitude is whenever you run into a roadblock, you have to be able to keep pushing. I don't know if any of you are runners out there, but in order to get better at running, you have to go faster than you did the day before. Whenever you hit that wall, you have to keep on pushing past it. And IT is a lot like a race. Whenever you very first start out, you're not in very good shape. Whenever you start running, your lungs are going to be burning, your legs are going to be hurting, but as you keep on going and as you keep on running, you're going to develop that stamina, you're going to develop that endurance. Nobody just wakes up and is good at IT. Nobody just wakes up and knows about Windows Server 2016 or Cisco Call Manager or networking, right? All these things are developed, okay? And the person that has a never quit attitude is gonna be that employee that develops that knowledge and ends up becoming the subject matter expert. So a never quit attitude. Number 3, self-sufficient. This ties back in to a never quit attitude. Whenever you run into a problem, what do? Do you go to the master tech that knows everything? Do you get on Google? Do you open up manufacturer documentation? I'll tell you what you do. You struggle and you plow through and you do whatever it takes. You exhaust all your resources before you go to somebody for help. If you want to be successful in IT, that's the attitude that you need to have. You need to have the attitude that I am going to fix this. I'm not going to go ask somebody else for help. I'm not going to ride on the coattails of somebody else's knowledge. I'm going to fix this. So that means Google, okay? I mean, there's very few issues that people haven't encountered before. So you're gonna find it, right? And it might take you 30 minutes, it might take you an hour, it might take you, after you go home for the day, you studying up to try and figure out how to solve this problem. But all that studying, all that searching for information is gonna pay dividends, okay? The guy that goes to the master tech and asks him how to do something and then goes away with one little nugget of knowledge, he's not benefiting nearly as much as the person who exhausts every single resource that they have before they go and ask somebody who knows the answer. The 30 minutes that it takes you to Google, you're going to encounter 5 different things or 6 different things that have absolutely nothing to do with the problem that you're trying to fix. That may not help you right then, but a month down the line when a customer comes to you with a different problem, it's going to be a big deal, okay? And all that searching for knowledge and all that exhausting all of your resources before you go and ask for help, it's really going to make a big difference, okay? Not only that, but your coworkers, your employer is going to see that and say, wow, this is a guy who's dedicated. This is a guy who doesn't quit until the mission is solved. This is a guy who takes pride in his work, okay? And that's a big thing. Take pride in your work. And just a little note here. Sometimes you have issues in your organization that require a fix immediately. Not everything do you have the luxury of going home and studying or taking 45 minutes to figure it out. Sometimes in an enterprise environment, you're going to run into things that need to be fixed immediately because it's an issue that's going to compromise the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of the resources that are inside your company or what you're providing to customers farther out into the net, okay? So sometimes you do have to go to the master tech and you have to say, hey, look, man, I need to elevate this to the next level. We have an urgent issue and I cannot solve it. And so that all goes back to number 1, right? Taking care of your customer. If you have the luxury of taking the 30 minutes, of taking the hour, of going home at night to try and figure out the issue and study it out, then do that. But if you don't, then call the master tech. Number 4, an enthusiastic learner. So you need to be customer facing, you need to be customer oriented, you need to have a never quit attitude, you need to work to be self-sufficient, and on top of it, you need to be an enthusiastic learner. Whenever you wake up in the morning, you need to have the attitude, I'm going to learn something new today and I'm going to like it. Sometimes we wake up and we don't want to go to work. Sometimes we wake up and we're like, man, I'm burnt out on Cisco Call Manager. I'm burnt out trying to rebuild these VMs, right? There's all sorts of things that are going to mentally wear you down in IT. But you have to commit to loving learning. Even if you don't love to learn, you need to convince yourself that you do love to learn. Because this profession is one where things are constantly evolving. You always have to learn new things. There's always updates to the system. You get a new operating system, right? There's all these different things that are going to come your way that are going to require you to learn. And you need to embrace that and love it. Because if you don't, you're going to be miserable. You need to develop that attitude that you are going to be an enthusiastic learner. You need to wake up and look at the mirror. If you have to have, that heart to heart with yourself and you have to say, I'm going to be an enthusiastic learner today. Then do that, okay? You need to roll out of bed, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to learn whatever the next big thing is. And even if you're not forced to learn something new, you need to dedicate to learning something new every single day. That concludes my tips on how to be successful in IT. And I assume that this will translate across a broad spectrum of different fields. But these are the qualities that you need to have if you want to be successful in IT. And notice that I didn't say that you have to know everything, or you have to have 10 certifications, or you have to go home and stick your head in a book all night long and not spend any time with your family. That's not what I said. A lot of these things are soft skills. A lot of these things have to do with your attitude. And if you can master your attitude and your mindset at work, that is going to pay off so much more than just going home and reading about Cisco Call Manager. You might go home and read about Call Manager, but that doesn't mean that whenever you run into a problem that you're going to break through that barrier and you're going to keep on pushing until you figure it out. Knowledge is only useful if we have the right attitude behind it. I hope you liked the video. If you do, smash that like button, subscribe and turn on alerts, and check out my next video on threat modeling. Thanks for watching.